Well, there he sits, huddled by his fire, dreaming his dreams that he's dreamed before. Just watching those sparks drifting up to heaven, and watching his hopes drift away like smoke. Just look at those sparks drifting up to heaven, seeking a place among the stars. Do you think sparks dream of being stars? And if they do they know they're fools? He drifted to town some years ago with the first fall snow. He spoke of the circuit and all the bulls that he'd rode, but the bulls that outdone him, and all he'd wound up with was broke bones and handfuls of dirt. And if you'd had his dreams, you'd know how that must have hurt. So just let him be a broke down old cowboy. Just let him dream worn out old dreams. He's tall in his tales, where he was quicker than most. And if you had known him then, you'd know he's not one to boast. Just look how he walks when he sees a lady. Straightens right up, tips a hat to those near. And look at the kids 10 steps behind him, whispering things they think he can't hear. But if you could see his eyes, you'd know he damned well hears. So just let him be broke down old cowboy. Just let him dream his worn out old dreams. He's long in the tooth, yeah, he's bent, frail and fragile. But if you had known him then, you'd know he might speak the truth. We've all got our dreams that we carry around. Some dreams go with us right into the ground. Sparks turn to ashes, and cowboys meet their matches, and the quickest, they don't always win. But dreaming's your first step. One step's where journeys begin. So just let us be broke down old cowboys. Just let us dream our worn out old dreams. We're tall in our tales, where we were so damned much quicker than most. And if you had known us then, you'd know we're not the type of people who boast.
Let's have a hand for that young cowboy and wish him better luck next time, and hope we'll see him up in Fargo or somewhere farther down the line. Well, this time he sure drew a bad one that nobody could ride. But by the way he pulled his hat on, he'd be there for the fight. And it's the classic contradiction, the unavoidable affliction. Well, it don't take much to predict, son, the way it always goes. 'Cause one day she'll say she loves you, and the next she'll be tired of you. Push will always come to shove you on that midnight rodeo. He almost made it to the buzzer. Somehow he gave up in the end. They put one hand around the other, let that pickup man on in. And it was his last chance to ride it, and now he'll have to move along. But he knows back in his mind he won't be away for long. And it's the classic contradiction, it's the unavoidable affliction. It don't take much to predict, son, the way it always goes. Because one day she'll say she loves you, and the next she'll be tired of you, and push will always come to shove you on that midnight rodeo. So let's have a hand for that young cowboy, wish him better luck next time, and hope we'll see him up in Fargo or somewhere farther down the line.
The wind was hot and the sun was hard, and I was beaten, my mare was tired, and the fence line I was riding stretched forever. My mind drifted off and back to Carmela and her heart of black and the things that she'd said to me yesterday. So when the boss sent me out checking fences, I was glad, 'cause I knew that it meant that I could spend some time out all alone. I wiped the sweat that stung my eyes, looked up and I realized that I was coming up on the south windmill. The concrete tank stood there beside the water trough that it supplied. When the trough was full, the mill could keep on pumping and pumping and pumping and pumping. So we drank deep from the shallow trough, and wetting my hair gave me the thought that a swim in that big tank might cool me down. I shut my duds and hung them on the fence, climbed the wires to reach the rim, pulled myself on up and jumped right in. Water was cool down underneath, but deeper than I thought it'd be. There was no ladder and the walls were slick with moss. Sure enough, I got cooled down when I found I had no way out, and the thought of a rat in the feed bin chilled my blood. Well, at first I laughed at the fix I was in, then my troubles all sank in. Without some help, I was there to stay. I screamed and clawed to no avail, till dignity and voice had failed. I wore my fingers down on those damned walls, and I marked the time with the windmill shade passing across my mossy grave, and the cows coming to water twice a day. Lightning strike or rattlesnake or barroom fight would do me in, not some Mexican rose. The fact is I was hot and dumb, struck stupid by the sun and love. So on the one hand, I guess she played her part. Through all that time I cussed her lots, but I cussed myself the most because I had not looked before I'd left. Now overhead an eagle soars, and I smell rain coming from the north. I wonder if she'll even shed one tear. Just